we want to say thank everybody for coming out, showing your support. I especially want to thank my family, #1 support and all this. This place is sentimental to me. I grew up watching movies here. This is more than a dream for me to be able to watch this movie with y'all. I made some notes here and I got nervous. We want to ask everybody to subscribe to any one of our podcast channels. Listen, we'll start making money off of this stuff if we get subscribers. So everybody, YouTube, Spotify, whatever platform you listen to our podcast on, subscribe. Another way that you can support us is we have DVDs and Blu Rays for sale. That'll all go to Malcolm's speeding ticket fund.
That's how bad we wanted to get here, Morgan County. We went 95 on 95, and that's a no-no.
We at 11 o'clock last night, and we have not had any sleep. And we are leaving right after this movie to go back home. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for coming.
Like, share, and comment.
And enjoy the show, everybody.
Can you hear yourself?
I hear myself.
Hear yourself?
As long as we don't hit no more of these bumps, we're good.
That's not happening. We look like we in a construction zone.
And we're live.
Live. Gentlemen, are we recording?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, first of all, what a night it's been.
Long night.
We left at about 9 o'clock last night. Drove, what was it, 2 or 3 hours, Mac?
3
hours. And Malcolm couldn't do it no more. And I, when we left last night, had a bad toothache. It was not well for me, so I immediately took some medicine and fell asleep. And it was funny when Malcolm and Travis pulled off the interstate into the rest stop. No sooner than they put the car in park, 30 seconds later, both of them were snoring, knocked out cold. So we just got on I-95 in South Carolina. It's 9:43. We got about a 4.5 hour trip left home. Yeah, it's been smooth set sail. So, I think there was, twice we stopped, pulled over for some sleep action.
Yeah.
And, but, we are officially up and running and ready to talk about what it was. I tell you what, at the last gas station, did you notice it started to get hot again?
Yes.
And I was like, oh,
you could
man.
feel the humidity and the heat.
Yeah. And we're only in South Carolina, too. And I'm like, oh.
Love it.
And I remember the news reports before we left. They're like, oh, it's going to be a hot week, high temperatures. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, good thing we're leaving for it. But then now that we're headed back, I'm like, oh, crap. We're going back to that.
Yeah, because it did feel really good up there.
Yeah.
It's like perfect.
And there was rain all around us, but, for us, it was just an overcast and a nice breeze, and there was no humidity. Real nice day yesterday. So let's talk about I'm really, 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 really blown away at the hospitality that Adam gave us and showed us at the Opera House.
A++.
He brought us right in, downloaded the DCP file. We talked like we'd known each other forever, and it was our first time meeting each other.
Right.
We did the tour of the Opera House. I mean, we got the whole shebang of the Opera House. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of cool stuff. Historical, education. things that we didn't even expect to see, like all
Yeah.
like what was up in the rafters for all those curtains and everything.
Oh
Yes.
man, that was neat.
Super cool.
Yeah, and that I mean, that ladder, you know.
I would not get on that ladder.
You know,
And it had like little rollers at the top, so it like
yes.
rolls all the
And then he was telling us he had a friend climb up it last year
watch a magician
and
show.
to watch a magic show. I'm like, I don't know, bro.
What about the guy that swung from one side of the stage to the other and they was slapping their hands on the
So
wall?
yeah, that's a little nugget on the very back wall behind the stage. There's all these marks with, I don't know if it's chalk or whatever. And you know, he didn't know they were there, but somebody came in there recently and they were like, "Oh, that stuff's still there." He's like, "What do you mean?" They were like rope swinging across the back of the stage, and whoever got the highest, they were marking each of their lines, and that stuff is still back there. And I don't know what year they did that, but you know, I don't think it'll ever be erased.
No.
Um,
Ain't nobody swinging up there with an eraser. I mean, it's pretty high.
Yeah. But you know, it's, you know, going into even Morgan County, you know, when we did the Ohio announcement, there was a couple things I talked to you guys about. You know, I talked to you about my love for the Muskingum River and how much I love the water. You know, we stopped by and we checked out the Stockport Dam. We went by the old golf course that was closed down. We went and took a peek at where the old pool was. We went through your first drive-through. What'd you guys think of old Maxwell's up there?
That was pretty cool.
That was neat.
Yeah,
I've never drove through a gas station.
Especially seeing
Our
our
corner
poster
store.
up.
Yeah. Our poster was up right there, and not only that, you know, we saw our poster in other places too.
Yeah,
Like,
we did.
You know, it was pretty cool. Shout out to D for getting that done. When we left last night, or when we were leaving, I said, "All right, D. So, like the next couple of weeks, what I need you to do now is I need you to go and go to those businesses, pick up the poster boards, and then take them to another business and post it up there. In 2 weeks from now, we'll just keep this rotation going. If you could just keep this going for the next couple of weeks."
Get them to scan it.
Yeah, make sure everybody scans it. She just looked at me. I gave her a hug goodbye.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. When we was out before we met up with Adam, we went around passing out cards to the 5 people in the whole town that's walking around. And then we got stopped and asked what we was doing because we looked suspicious. You want to tell them something?
Not by police.
No, not by police.
So again, this town is small town, which I'll just go ahead and I'll ask this before I start telling the story. Travis, Malcolm, you can tell. Did I over elaborate, or did I do a pretty good job describing this town for what it was?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the exception of
Malcolm was expecting to see horse and buggies riding around town.
I was like expecting Amish people to just be...
But you know, I don't think I ever portrayed that. But it's a good, you know, I could see how you
That's what I
that
pictured.
description. Okay. But no, Malcolm. I mean, come on, put Morgan County over when you got there and you were like, Zach, this is, I had no idea how cool this is. And we hadn't even, at that point, gotten inside the Opera House. You really liked the square and, you know, going in front of the stores. And you're right, there wasn't a lot of people out there, but we started walking the sidewalks. We walked into the first store, and they were kind of iffy about us. And that's okay. We're all
rightfully so.
We are big, burly, ugly men, right? You know what I mean? So, you know, they kind of were standoffish, and what's the word discernment? We pick up on those things, and we don't want to bother people too much. So we, you know, politely, we checked out the store and we took off. Well, then we walked past this coffee shop, and we just walked past it. Well, the girl walks out, and I forgot her name. Do you remember her name?
I don't remember her name.
She walks out and she says, "Do y'all want some coffee?" And, we didn't, but she's like, "Well, listen, y'all got to come in and tell me what y'all are doing here. So anybody that comes in and asks, I can tell them." And in all fairness to her, the town knows we're out of towners. Like, you can just tell looking at us.
You can tell looking by me.
Yeah. Travis is sitting there walking around in his Jason outfit and, shirt, and beanie, and yeah, we were.
I mean, when you see three grown men walking around, you got two of them with Big Hammock merch on, and then you got the 60-year-old wearing Jason Voorhees
Hey.
and Freddy Krueger with a beanie on. It's like, what is going
Old
on?
girl even had to make sure. Now, is this a horror film? We're like,
Yeah.
no, it's not a horror film.
Yeah,
Thanks, Travis.
he's false advertising on what this movie is.
But but we just kind of hung out there. We sat. It got to the point where like, all right, we're gonna sit down here in front, wait for Adam to get there. I don't think we sat down for 2 minutes, and he pulled right up.
Rolled up on us.
And again, we sat and we talked with him. We got everything set up after the tour, and then we went to dinner at the Chatterbox. And again, I've been careful not to come across like a stuck up snob,
Yeah.
like my family's better than yours and all this kind of stuff. I through humble understanding
Mm,
of what I have.
mhm.
It's good. My family's something special. Travis and Malcolm both said, Zach, you have the most supportive family I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We
Hands down.
we went to the Chatterbox. We had our own section reserved in the back.
Locked off.
And again, Travis, your brother
Yeah.
and his wife came.
Yeah,
And,
I got to reconnect with my brother after 20 years.
But and again, my family was,
Yeah.
how's it going?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sort of thing, right? Like,
I did not have any family that showed up. Wah, wah, wow.
They took care of us. They were rooting for us, had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. I kept messing with them. I'd go over there and I'd walk over to check out the Opera House because you could see it because it was catty corner. I said, man, there's a line over there. And they're like, really? I said, no, just kidding. And what did you guys have for dinner?
I had
hamburger.
a cheeseburger, yep.
Yeah,
Cheeseburger?
cheeseburger with bacon.
And I had a Philly cheesesteak. But I was eyeballing my brother-in-law Tim's, and you guys were
Yeah.
eyeballing.
I wanted to
pork
distract
chops.
them and someone steal a chop
Them
off that
pork
plate.
chops right there looked like they was good.
They did, bro.
But fast forward, we're done with dinner. We start going over to the Opera House, and one of my aunts goes, "Now can we get reserved seating?" I said, "Trust me, there'll be some there for you."
Yeah, they're already reserved.
We look, we sold 68 seats or 68 tickets last night, and I got to tell you, I know I speak for Travis and Malcolm. We were more than happy
Oh,
with the
yeah.
response from the town with that. Everybody fit comfortably in the Opera House, and what was really cool, again, kind of the same emotions from the Ocala premiere. Who's going to show up? And again, we're all different. I wasn't worried about the reception, afterwards or how they were going to receive the movie. But it got really, really cool and really, really exciting when the amount of people that I don't know surpassed the people that I did know.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm ready now, right?
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I know for sure, especially with Travis and Malcolm, they want to see people's response to this movie.
Mhm.
And I'd say that's what makes this whole trip in itself worth it, because we got an audience that has no reference or connection to us at all.
Yeah.
Some of them went there because, again, through the support of my family, a lot of promoting for them. Come on, Morgan County, this is my cousin or my brother or my nephew or whatever it may be. But, again, a lot of these people, no connection at all. Plus, some people showed up because they read the article in the Morgan County Herald.
Yeah.
So again, just an unbiased viewing of the movie that you guys were able to watch the people and see. how they did. So we started it out. We thanked everybody, gave a little speech. Malcolm, are we safe to say that the ticket fund is paid for?
No, we did not make enough to pay for the
We
ticket.
did not pay for the ticket. All right, so
Charge that one to the game.
all right, so yeah, DVDs, Blu-ray, digital copies.
Digital copies.
But we had so much fun at the beginning, just meeting everybody, shaking hands, doing the introduction and the starting of the show. And man, the movie. Everybody, one of the things, everybody laughed throughout the movie. They understood the comedy. I say everybody. Malcolm's going to talk about the one exclusion. But we, a lot of people laughing throughout the movie. There were things. It was cool because there were things that the viewers in Morgan County laughed more about than the viewers in Ocala. And there were things that the people in Ocala responded more about than the viewers in Morgan County.
Yeah.
There were two specific parts of the movie that we picked up on that the viewers responded to both, the same way, identical each time. But, we definitely, I had a group of people that understand our comedy. And it was funny, before my sister comes up to me, she goes, Zach, she's concerned because, it's a not rated film, but, we know that there's some language in there, some violence and
Crude humor.
Yeah, crude humor. And she goes, Zach, all these old people are here. I'm concerned. I said, they're all good. She goes, no, you don't understand. You don't live here. And I'm like, that'd be all right. What was funny is there was a group of ladies that were sitting behind me, and Dee was mainly concerned about them, and they absolutely loved the film.
Oh,
I mean, they were laughing throughout it. They were talking throughout it. They were talking, not like over talking the movie, but just, talking and, making comments out loud throughout the movie. And they were picking up they paid attention to the movie and they got the movie. It was really cool to see. I was able, this was the time, from that first premiere in Ocala, I really just took it all in for myself.
Oh yeah.
And then this time I was actually able to watch everybody's response to everything, and it was really cool to see. Travis, what did you see during the production or anything that I talked about?
Well, I had the Golden Girls sitting up in front of me.
Those are the
And-
ladies that I was talking
Oh
about.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. These ladies, I'm telling you, I got to meet them before the show. They was coming in towards the end. Thanked them for coming in. Told them I was like, you're gonna see some things tonight that probably gonna shock your world. Thank you guys for coming in. You guys are gonna have a great time. And there was plenty of times during the film where I was actually leaning forward and just listening to their laughter throughout I mean, from start to finish, they didn't miss a beat.
Mhm.
And these ladies must have been, I don't want to call that no age, but they was up there.
Mhm.
Definitely not the demographic that I would think would sit through this film and laugh and have a good time. And
Definitely had a
bro,
different demographic
yeah.
last night. Yeah.
and they enjoyed every minute of it,
Yeah.
man. And it made me enjoy it more because I was watching them enjoy it.
Mhm.
So I got,
So
That was awesome.
I got to enjoy it in a different light. So the people I was sitting by, sitting around on the opposite side of which they was sitting, Zach and Travis, I was sitting by. There was a couple that did not enjoy the movie at all. They was aggravated throughout the whole thing. The wife's like, "Do you just want to leave?" And the dude is
Hold
like,
on, time out. So I do want to set this up because for the listeners, just Malcolm has made it clear he does not care if you don't like the movie.
Yeah.
He does not care. Like, you know, we the worst critics of movies are people that know nothing about movies.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we got people. You know, we've made it clear we had a zero budget film. You know, we our resources were first time actors. You know, we just it was over the course of 2 years of people's availability. And
Right.
you know, there's people that critique $1 million budget films. You know, the blockbuster films, and walk out of those movie theaters talking about, oh, that movie sucked. You know, the ending was terrible. They should have ended it this way.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So Malcolm's made it clear from the jump. He doesn't care if people don't like the movie.
Right.
So and if anything, you'll see here it's pretty humorous to him. So go ahead and elaborate more on that.
So the first couple that is like sitting directly in front of me did not enjoy their time at the Twin City Opera House in their preview of the Big Hammock. The dude, the husband, was irritated the whole time. I even heard him say he didn't know what was going on and it was boring. The wife kept trying to get him to get up. She was like, "Do you just want to leave?" But he was like, "No, I paid $8. We're gonna watch it." So they're just sitting there, and they're older, So you could tell this kind of. I don't know what they was expecting. I don't know what type of movie they was expecting, but it wasn't what they got, right? So they was as soon as the credits roll, they're out of there, bro. They just didn't waste any time. Then there's another couple that is like down to the right of them. And I watched this dude throughout the whole movie. And like when the comedy starts happening, this guy's like looking around laughing hysterically. Like he's like looking around like, is anybody else see how stupid this is? Like how dumb this is? And then when it gets towards the end, he leans to the left, crossed his right leg over his left, and just looks to nobody. There's nobody to the left of him. He just looks and goes, "Whoever made this film was tripping on a lot of acid." And I lost it, bro. I could not breathe. I was laughing so hard. I'm like, I wish that guy would go and comment that on the Facebook page. Like, whoever made this movie was tripping
Leave
on
a
a lot
review.
of.
Leave a review.
Because he was just he was laughing at everything, but it was almost in like he couldn't believe what he was seeing and what he was watching. It was definitely
This
not
is
what
the
he.
dumbest thing I ever seen.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like, can you believe this? And especially when it got to the petrified Sasquatch egg,
Bro.
he lost it. That was his. Like, he's like, "We're getting out of here," like shaking his head, laughing. He's like, "We're out of here," like a knee slapping laugh, bro. He's like, whoever made this movie was tripping on a lot of acid, and I just thought that was the coolest review we'll probably ever get. So it made my night to see a couple that came expecting something totally different and they did not like it. I know that sounds weird, but from the premiere in Ocala, we got such good response and everybody liked it. So it's almost in the back of your head, you're like, are they really liking it? Right? Can every single person here? Obviously, we didn't talk to all 300 people at the Epic. I'm sure there's people that left that wasn't really fond of it, but respectful enough not to say something, right? But when you're an independent filmmaker in your first one, you want that response. It's not disrespectful to say, I did not like that movie. I thought it was stupid. I didn't understand it. I thought it was, cheesy. I thought it was whatever. Like, not shot very well. Like, we want those responses from people because whether I care if you like it or not, it's still like, okay, at least I know that you're getting general and genuine responses, because not everybody. There's not one movie in this world. I don't care who has made it, who's directed. There's not one movie in this world that every single person who has watched it liked it and thought it was a perfect masterpiece. No, there's always going to be that one person, right? Even if that one person is just full of crap, they're still not going to admit it's a perfect masterpiece, right? Because there's always that, person. So rather they just didn't understand it or it was stupid to them. Like, there's movies that a lot of my friends like that I think is stupid. There's a lot of movies I like that my friends think are stupid. So it's like, I like the balance of people excited, like, and we had genuine people that was like, dude, that was awesome. That was funny. This part was my favorite. How did you do this? Like, so you get those, but then you also get these people that are like, this is the most dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he thinks we're on acid making movies, and I just thought that was super hilarious. So it definitely made my night. And I was on the side that not really many people liked it or laughed, or there wasn't very good responses on the side of the theater I was sitting, which I thought was cool.
Really? So the whole side was that way?
Yeah. So there was only a couple people on the side I was at that actually was laughing and like gasping at the certain parts. But for the majority, like there was like a handful of people to my left up front that did not react to anything. They just they just sat. I mean, they didn't get up and move. They didn't say one way or the other. Like they just didn't react at all. They just watched it for what it was.
Yeah.
And when it was over, they got up and left. But the two couples in front of me were so expressive. Like especially the one. They was so expressive on how irritated they was, but they're old school, you could tell, and he spent $8, he's watching that film. He's gonna sit there, he's not wasting, he's not gonna go ask for a refund either,
Well,
So
that's like that with a lot of older crowds, though. You got to remember the ones that didn't respond. They're used to sitting in front of plays, big movies, stuff like that. Like they're when the lights go down and that film goes on, or that play, or that that concert goes on, they're quiet from start to finish. It's a form of respect with some of those older generation. So I didn't take that as anything wrong from what I've seen.
yeah. So well, I mean, and here's the thing too. They could have went in thinking there's this movie coming to town, right? And they're probably thinking it's like a high dollar movie.
Yeah.
But when they started watching it and realized it's not $1 million budget, that could have irritated them off rip.
Yeah.
And then no matter what or how the movie turned out, they wasn't going to be satisfied either way. But either way, it doesn't matter how they feel. It's the fact that I got to see someone's genuine reaction, I'm sorry, to the movie that has no connection to anybody.
Yeah.
And we don't
strangers.
and we don't know how they were brought there either, right?
Right.
Like, again, my sister, my family, all my aunts, my cousins telling everybody to come out. We had Adam was sharing things on the Opera House Facebook page. We had this article in the Herald. Front page, Sheer bringing the Big Hammock film back to the Opera House. And I spoke with, goodness, I can't remember her name. Wanted to see if it's on here. I spoke with the woman that wrote this, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name, afterwards, and she liked the movie. And she was glad she did the article. And but were those people that you saw, did they come there because they read this article?
Right.
You know what I mean? So now did they come there because they saw something on Facebook? How did they come to be at the Opera House that night? But let's talk about some good responses. So right,
Yeah,
so
right.
we had my cousin Melanie's friend that came up to us at dinner. And she goes, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't coming until I heard the podcast. Pretty cool compliment.
Yeah, that is. That's
yeah.
super cool.
And then she was like, and listen, I'm not even a movie person either, guys. So, but I'm here. You guys have got me.
Yeah.
And after the movie, she comes right up to us. She says, this movie's awesome.
Yeah, she's like,
she got her DVD. She got signed
Yeah, we all
autographs
signed it.
from the three of us. And she even she even gave us some feedback on the movie,
Yeah, she
right?
did.
Like, like, man, God love it. She was so nice.
She was.
She was honest. Um, you know, what down to
So
earth, right?
yeah,
Just a
so
down to earth woman
right,
that was like, look, this stuff isn't typically for me, but you guys got me somehow. Somehow you got me,
right. And
and
she gave us what she really liked about the film, and
yep.
she gave us the little bit of criticism that she thought could have been strengthened in certain
Mm-hmm.
ways, which we won't say, spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty cool to be like, okay, like we got a genuine, which I always like, because I know there's some people that are just super nice
Mm-hmm.
and respectful, and they don't want to like say, oh, I really like this, but this was like, a lot of people don't want to do that, right? So when you
Mm-hmm.
get somebody like her who was like, look, I don't even like movies. The podcast brought me here. It sold me on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it. Here's what I really liked about it. I loved it overall, but here's where it could have been stronger. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, no. You just said everything I was going to.
Yeah.
You're good. And my uncle afterwards, he comes up to me, he says, Zach, um, I saw Sasquatch. I said, really? He goes, yep. He goes, but man, I just don't tell nobody because they'll never believe me. I said, okay. And he goes, yeah, he was riding a unicorn. Perfect.
Oh man, that is super funny.
What about them two girls in the back that was laughing through the whole thing?
Yes.
I don't remember them.
Yeah,
He
they was
doesn't.
sitting over there towards Malcolm.
Okay.
Yeah. They was super into it. They was laughing the whole time.
So they were on your side, but not the side, but not the bad side. They were on the
Yeah,
good
they
side.
was like behind me up to the top at the very entrance. They was laughing, right?
Mhm.
They was laughing and gasping when they should be laughing and gasping. So I think that they liked it. I received that as they enjoyed the movie.
Mhm.
Um, Now, and I do believe those two follow the podcast because
Yeah.
before the movie started, they mentioned something, and I can't remember what it was, but they mentioned something that actually let us know they watched the
Mhm.
podcast. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So
And then everybody up in the balcony, from what we heard, Adam said they all loved it up there, right?
Mhm.
oh okay,
Yeah.
so
And my nephew was up there, and
oh really?
Okay.
he absolutely he said that it was awesome.
Awesome.
It was I wouldn't say it was a group of young kids, but it was definitely the younger crowd up top.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was all the younger
Yeah,
crowd.
and it was just like Adam said, like, yeah, the older crowd will make their way to the bottom, but the younger crowd always wants to go up to the top.
So what does that tell you about us three boys? Where did we fit? Where did we
all
sit?
sat at the bottom.
Hey.
We're no longer part of the young crowd.
Hey, I pulled a
fellas.
hammy 2 days ago, and I wasn't moving any further.
We sat with where we belonged.
Mhm.
No, it was super cool, man.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good feedback. I thought
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Travis,
Yo,
you want to talk about the tour?
well, I came, I saw, and I went. No, I mean, it was everything that I was hoping for and I expected. I know I played up a lot of stuff about all the ghost elements and different things like that. But it was really more or less the history that I wanted to learn about the Opera House. No, I had a fun time, man. From just learning all the aspects of, what went into the building of the Opera House, the going into the basement, seeing what Zach talked about on the episode 9 with where the Opera House almost burnt down, and being able to see that wood that's still standing to this day, and Adam talking about a few years ago putting in more bracing to keep that up. It was amazing to see. Even going deep underneath to where there's no concrete floor anymore. It's just nothing but dirt.
In the
Yeah.
basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Uh,
tunnel.
Yeah, the
yeah.
tunnel, where the tunnel was. And then, we sat, in the tower where
Yeah.
Jack Osborne was
Yeah.
at, and,
Yeah. I mean, I'm a
all of those spots that you were intrigued about
yeah. I
because
got
of the
to
story,
see,
you got to see
and I
them.
got the footage of it.
You got the
You know?
footage of it. We saw the little the catwalk walk area where
Yeah.
they do the tea parties and
I got
uh,
shots of the wall where they wrote the portal on the side. Malcolm
yeah.
pointed that out. He was like, "Look, the portal." I was like, "It's not there." And then I looked, and I was like, "Oh, it's all written right there on the wall."
They just keep making portals as they go. Here's a portal. Here's a
Well,
portal.
some of them
You
get
get a
wore.
portal.
Some of them get wore out. They gotta.
Yeah.
They gotta bust their new portals.
Yeah,
They
they got to
gotta
jump
start new
jump
portals.
from portal to portal,
hmm
just like PlayStation, that video game if you ever played it. But
hmm
no, it was just really really neat to see. Even outside of the Opera House, man, it was neat to see the courthouse and the sheriff's department right there, and then finding out that the jail is under the courthouse.
hmm
Like it's like that old saying, like we're gonna bury you under the courthouse. You
hmm
literally are under that courthouse if you screw up in this town.
hmm
It reminded me of the town in Rambo.
I don't remember
Yeah.
In
Rambo.
First Blood.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it
Yeah,
reminded me
like
of.
this, like one horse single town that
Yeah.
loop. That's it.
Still mad we didn't see Amish people.
Yeah, but that's
The
further
bell
up.
rang when we walked out
Yeah,
last night. The town bell.
yeah.
Bell has been rung.
So yeah, no, it was all neat to see, neat to experience. Like I said, man, driving through a corner store, gas station, whatever you want to call it, like we have those in Florida that are just there's a couple that you pull up from the outside. It was like a barn. You just went right through and then got what you wanted to get out of it. And it was just like, and you stayed in your car. And I was like, man, this is neat.
hmm And there was multiple ones, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
drove by another one. You're like, is that another drive-through? Yes, sir, it is. We got them all over.
It's like, how lazy are these people? They don't even want to get out and go on the Jiffy spots.
Man, they're all over the place.
No, I'm just kidding.
Seeing the tiny grocery stores. I mean, you
Mhm.
got Save-A-Lot and Kroger.
Yeah.
So I mean, your choices are slim and minimum.
And I told you guys,
And
I said if you put them both together, they don't equal the size of a Publix.
Yeah.
True story.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. No, definitely a true story. Definitely a true story.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to go inside those, but I mean, just judging from the outside, it's like, yeah, this is you need to know what you're getting. You're gonna get your meat, you're gonna get your soap products, and some vegetables, and that's about it.
hmm
But other than that, great experiences, man. I loved it. I love getting up on stage, being a little hype man. I got a little too excited, but I mean,
That was
that was
definitely my first time standing on stage like that.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, in front at the Opera House.
Oh.
Man, I do public speaking.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But I really was impressed. No, number one, Travis got a little self-conscious about his hype that he did.
yeah.
Travis did perfect.
Bro,
He hyped up that
I
thing.
mean, I almost grabbed the microphone and started dropping bars. I mean, that's how hype man of a hype man he got. I was
Oh
like,
man,
I-
it's just that
Give me a beat.
adrenaline rush.
I could, I'm know how to, kind of talk from my stomach to get my voice to carry, and I didn't have to do that in that building.
Oh no,
You
the
know,
acoustics
like
in that building was
it was
amazing.
really, it was really cool. Just everybody could hear perfectly fine. You don't need a PA system in that building. You know what I mean? It man, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
yeah,
And
well worth the trip.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely worth the trip.
So
Love to make another movie and do it again.
yeah. So we're coming on. We're a little less than 4 hours away from home now. Let me see what mile marker are we at. We'll tell you real quick how far away from Georgia we are.
Well, it says
We're 31 miles from Savannah.
That's still
Yeah.
oh, that is Georgia.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but it'll tell you right up here when we pass by what mile marker it is. Dead air. 19. So we are 19 miles from Georgia. So we're booking. We're rolling. thank everybody for coming to the Opera House and watching the movie with us. Keep liking, subscribing, commenting, stay in tune with the updates. The next announcements will be coming soon. Where we're going, what we're doing. We want Woo-hoo. Like, subscribe, Big Hammock to thebighammock.com. One word, digital copies, Blu-rays. Support Malcolm's Ticket Fund, and we'll see you next time.
All right. And